Social media is a lot like high school. There's the popular kids, the influencers, and for years, the same people that have been shouting from the rooftops to be posting every single day and post all the content that you can and literally share anything that's happening in your life, they're posting less. They're becoming less visible. Why? Because they're realizing that that constant content treadmill has a massive hidden cost. And I'm gonna expose in this video today how I have built a business that's now generated over $30 million, and I have been slowly but surely stepping away from social media and not chasing the algorithm for a very long time. And that has actually become the key to sustainable success and how you can apply it to build a business that doesn't burn you out in 2026 and doesn't require you to constantly post on social media. Before I get into the details of it, we've created a business plan. It's called the Knowledge Bag Business Plan. Just comment business plan below, and it's going to show you the framework to create a business model that allows you to detach your time from your income and allows you to create a business that will not burn you into the ground. So let's talk about the old playbook on social media and how things have evolved, and you need to know this in order to evolve with it. So the old playbook on social media, which back in the day, 10 years ago, I very much so was a part of. It was about constant posting. It was kind of the Wild West in terms of what you did post because no one really knew what they were doing, even though everyone kind of talked as if they did, myself included, not gonna lie. I thought that I knew everything and anything about social media. And I was working with big businesses and brands on different strategies, and it was working. Having said that, like everything, you have to have some data and some proof behind you and some experience to really understand how to optimize and refine for success. And we're now entering this new age of social media where people are using it smarter and working less in terms of posting and content, etc. Because we've really honed in on how the algorithms work, and it doesn't matter what platform you're on. They all work the same way. The algorithm needs to know who are you trying to reach? Who is your ideal demographic, audience, client? And what is it that you're trying to be known for? And ultimately, if you can answer those two questions with every single piece of content that you create, you will see a benefit from it, but only if there's a clear end goal and target. If you are on social media without an actual business model behind it, you're most likely chasing clout, fame, and trying to become an influencer. That's fine. That's not what I'm talking about in this video. I'm talking about if you're actually trying to build a business, the way that you're doing social media very well could be killing your business. The amount of social media strategists and marketing managers that I speak to regularly, and they tell me, well, my boss just wants me to post every single day. Your boss doesn't know what they're talking about. Okay? I can say this with so much experience because I worked with big corporations in the early days of social, and I still have these conversations today. If somebody is telling you to just post something, they have no freaking clue how the algorithm works. You want to be posting less, but with much higher intention and making sure that every single post you create fits into one of three buckets. One, it is super value driven for that ideal client, customer, etc. So you're helping them in some way, shape, or form. Two, it's story driven. So it tells people why you do what you do, the motivation behind the business that you have, why you serve people in the way that you serve them. And then three, integrating direct call to action content as well. And what that means is it's content that actually talks about what you sell. Because most people use social media and never mention the thing that they actually want to build a business around, and they have no idea why they're not getting clients or customers. If you never mention it and you never give clear direction on how people can actually work with you, of course they're not going to work with you. So the playbook for social media has changed. It is no longer about reaching every person on the internet because broad equals broke, specific equals sales. It is about making the right content for the right person at the right time. So who do you serve and what do you want to be known for? Making it relevant to them. Relevancy is king. Content used to be king, relevancy is now king. If you make less content but it is more relevant to the ideal client, you're going to get more return from it in terms of sales, conversions, etc. The other piece of this that I think is really important is that on social media, it's a weird world. There are people dancing that should not be dancing. No shame, I've done it before. But if you're dancing in reels on Instagram thinking that that's going to lead to sales, sure, maybe in some cases it does. But just because people are doing things because they're trends on social media does not mean every business needs to hop on it. And this is where you have to really look at it from perspective of a proactive approach to social media, not a reactive approach to social media. Please don't do something that you're going to look back in a year and go, that's cringy. I don't know why we did that. And it didn't actually result in anything. And it probably embarrassed the heck out of our potential customers who probably don't want to work with us now. I think it's important to understand using social media with intention and also understanding that if you are constantly creating content, but you're not focused as much on your actual offer and the business and how you serve people, you could have the best marketing strategy in the world and the best social media strategy in the world. It is going to do nothing for you because people will eventually figure out, oh, you have great marketing, but your product sucks. So product has to come first. Then it's easy to market a good product because people will talk about it and they'll share it. And that is the beauty of social media. They will share it out for you on social. If you're having to constantly push or do a little jig to get your product sold, question how good the product is, okay? People often skip ahead in the order of events and they think social media solves problems. It doesn't. It amplifies them. It goes offer. That better be freaking stellar. From your offer, we have to really focus on who you're actually serving, who is your most ideal client, because we want to meet them where they are. That also narrows the pool of how many people you need to reach online by a lot. Know how many ideal clients you need in a year, and then that helps you create a social media strategy that is probably a lot less work, but allows you to reach that small group of people. From there, that allows you to create clear messaging because you know who you're serving and what you want to offer. From there, that allows you to generate leads when you have clear messaging. It doesn't mean you need a ton of them. It means you need the right amount to create the right amount of sales that you need in your business for the year or the month or the week or the quarter. From there, that allows you to have sustainable cash flow, which means you can build out your team, your operations, your finances. But if we don't have a good offer, again, social media is not going to save your business. It's actually going to kill your business if your offer sucks. Because imagine getting a bunch of traffic to an offer that is not good or an offer that doesn't exist. You're going to have a problem. And why the old playbook really stopped working is that we have now seen algorithms change. Audiences get exhausted and burnt out of the same stuff over and over again. So if you're just posting content but not reinventing the wheel and you're not really thinking through how to intentionally reach your audience, they're just going to get bored and it's going to get really stale. There's also creator burnout. That's a reality. If you're a business owner who's also trying to double as a creator because you think that's going to lead to success in your business, you're going to burn yourself out. That's why it is about posting with more intention and really knowing how the algorithm works. But more importantly than that, the old playbook doesn't work because people were building these businesses strictly on social media platforms, which they do not own. And they didn't have any asset that they actually owned. If you aren't using social media to build your actual email list that you own in your business, you are building your business on a faulty foundation that is built to break. I'm gonna get into the details of how to position yourself online to be found by your best, most ideal clients without you having to constantly be posting content in just a second. Before I do, be sure to comment business plan below, and we'll send you the link to access our free Knowledge Bank business plan, which provides you with the framework to build a business that doesn't require you trading all of your time for money. Okay, let's talk about positioning. So people need to hop onto whatever your social platform is of choice that you're using. I do recommend focusing on one and owning the crap out of it because trying to diversify to multiples will only spread you thin and you're going to do a bad job at all of them. And the algorithm is going to be confused on all of them. And you're going to be like, well, I'm doing all this stuff and nothing's working. And that's why. So pick one and get really good at it. Then you can use that one to build other platforms. It's like a trickle effect. So you need to position yourself by having a very clear title. What do you do? Who are you? People need to know. You need to introduce yourself in that way. How you serve people and ultimately what they can get from you. What are you selling? Those things need to be included right off the bat. It's like the 5-second rule. If they land on your page or your account or your profile and that is not clear and they just see a bunch of content, they're not interested. And the people who would be interested are, I assure you, not your buyers because they're not there for any intention or reason. They're just there to consume content. They're looky-loos versus actual buyers. So constantly posting, playing to the algorithm, all of these things, they kill businesses. In order to really succeed moving forward, it's kind of like going left when everyone else goes right. So short form content has become really popular and it benefits the platforms in a big way. Does it benefit the creators? Not necessarily. It does through vanity metrics. You're probably gonna get more eyeballs, but less quality attention. What I mean by that is generally people are scrolling through, they're gonna watch something that they stumble upon like a reel or a short or whatever for 2 seconds. They'll be like, that was cute, that was funny, whatever, moving on. They're not invested. Whereas long form content, the rise of the blog all over again. Oh, love it, love to see it. YouTube, long form content. What it does is it attracts maybe less people, but more quality people. Not the quality of the human being. I'm sure everybody's a great person. But what I mean is the quality of the attention they're giving you. If somebody is seeking something out and they land on either your blog or your YouTube content, which is SEO driven, search engine driven, and you're showing up in the results and they click on it, but they don't know you, that is showing you that that person has high intent to learn the thing that you are about to teach or to get the value that you're about to provide. So they're going to sit there and they're going to watch it, which builds so much trust and authority. I know you're probably thinking to yourself, yeah, but people can just get information for free so quickly through Google or through AI. And yes, they can. Information is at a surplus. Actual value and transformation is declining. That's what people are craving. There's too much information. Have you ever tried to solve at least one problem in your life? Even for me, I was like, how to change a tire recently. I was like, well, that's never gonna happen because I'm so overwhelmed by the amount of information in front of me. I'm just gonna get somebody else to do it. We have so much information, nobody's taking action. So if you have content that actually walks people through how to take the action and you build that authority by having them sit and listen to you for an extended period of time, in today's day and age, that could be 5 minutes or more. That is the thing that's going to be a trust building engine. And it's why I'm saying that it really is the rise of the true authority. Because content and information is, like I said, everywhere. It's at a surplus. Actual knowledge and deep earned wisdom, where someone has been doing the thing for a very long time and actually knows what they're talking about, that's what people need. People are seeking out who they actually can trust, who they actually can listen to, who has actually done the thing that I want to do. So I can just go straight to them and not have to deal with the noise and the chaos. And I'm sure you can relate to that in some way, shape, or form. It is so overwhelming to seek out any help online because there's too much available. So if you can position yourself to be discovered through SEO-driven content like YouTube's, like blogs, etc., it positions you as a go-to authority if you know what you're talking about. And the interesting thing is, constantly looking at social media as a metric of business success is gonna make you feel like you're constantly failing, because it is built to make you feel like you're failing. It is built to keep your attention, and it's built to keep you on the platform. It is actually built to create dopamine hits when you get those one-off, high-performing pieces of content. But if that is all you're basing your metrics on and your success on, you are ultimately driving or steering a vehicle blind, realistically. So instead, you want to look at things like retention. So people actually watching your entire piece of content or staying to the end of whatever it is that they're consuming. You want to look through click-through rate and who is actually clicking on your content. And if it's the right demographic, or if you're reaching a really broad range of people, which will tell you why you're not actually generating any sales or conversions from social media. And also something that I call dollar per view, but you could apply this to any platform, meaning that ideally, with less views, you're seeing a higher return. So if you're posting 18 pieces of content a day, that's excessive, and you're making $500 a day, let's say, you then would divide 500 by 18, and you're gonna get a certain number. If you are posting one piece of content every day and you're making $500 a day, that one piece of content is going to be worth $500. So you want to be on that end of the spectrum. You want to be posting less content and getting a higher return from it. That tells you you're doing it right. Less engagement, higher return on engagement. That means you're reaching the right audience, not the masses who really don't care and aren't gonna buy. When you play the game of social media just based on vanity metrics, you do play the game for looky-loos and what I call window shoppers. You do not play it for actual customers or clients who need what you have and are gonna get the most benefit from what you do. So who would you rather serve? The people who are just there to window shop and kind of take in whatever it is that you're sharing and complain if you try to sell them anything? Or the people who actually need what you have to offer and are very excited to get the value from what you're sharing? I think I'd rather go this way. I really do believe that it is about depth and not width. And I know this for myself and my own experience of testing every platform out there and trying every strategy under the sun over the last, 10 plus years. And I know for myself too, that the more targeted your audience is, the deeper your impact actually will be. Because if you are trying to reach everybody, you can only sort of stay at a surface level. If you're getting really deep into the value you can provide for your most ideal client, it's gonna inherently create a smaller audience for you, but it will also create a much deeper depth of impact for those people and results and transformations and happy clients. So there's a messaging framework that I highly recommend you follow so that social media doesn't kill your business. We call it the Market of One framework. So it breaks down into really 3 components. So first and foremost, it's all about commanding authority. So instead of seeking fame or popularity, you're looking to become the authority, which is accessible to anybody who actually has credibility to back up what they're saying. Commanding authority means that what you say should feel like a revelation. It should feel new and fresh because you're not just regurgitating information that you learned on the internet. You actually have the wisdom, the experience of doing the work to then be able to share it. From there, it also should create polarization. You should be able to stand out from the sea of sameness online because you actually have your own unique experience doing that work. And so you can speak from a level of nobody else has done it in the way that I've done it. So let me tell you the stories and the angles and the tips and the tricks that I have learned that I can then share with you. It also needs to show transformational power. And what I mean by that is that it needs to show results. Your content has to show that you have happy clients and customers, that you have people who have achieved the result that you promise. Because all of that, when it's built together, and And when it works together, it creates authority. And that authority then compounds with every single thing that you share. And that brings me to training the algorithm. So most people are thinking, okay, what does the algorithm want me to do? How can I be good to the algorithm? You got to train it. You have to own it. It does not own you. What I mean by that is you have to train it on those things we talked about. Who are you trying to reach and what do you want to be known for? So before you share anything or even think about creating a piece of content, if it doesn't answer those two questions very, very clearly, do not share it. Because when you share something that's out of alignment without those two factors, it's actually confusing the heck out of the algorithm because it doesn't know where to put you. And ultimately, how you want the algorithm to work on any platform is you want it to know how to categorize you based on who and what. And then it starts to use its internal traffic sources to serve you to more of those people. But if it doesn't know who you're trying to reach and what you want to be known for, it has no ability to do that. So it just dies in the water and you hear crickets and it feels like it's bad content when in reality, you just didn't do a good job of articulating those two things in how you created the content. So I know it could probably sound like I'm just sort of talking from my own experience, but we've helped thousands of people leverage a post less, earn more strategy, from doctors like Mark, who has been able to serve thousands of women all over the world through his fertility expertise in helping women get pregnant over 35. And we have Will, who is an incredible DJ, and he's helped so many DJs achieve professional level sound in their music. Or Monica, who teaches adults how to dance in social settings, allowed people to build so much confidence through that. Also Nate, who's an accountant, and he's helped hundreds of people pass the certified management accountant exam through using this exact strategy. So instead of chasing fame, instead of chasing popularity, instead of playing to the algorithm, build authority. That is what you are ultimately going to be able to create a sustainable, successful, and scalable business around. I'm giving you permission, not that you need it from me, but I'm giving you permission to post less and just like see what it does. See if it changes anything. If you weren't getting sales to begin with, it's not going to change anything. And maybe it's time to revisit the offer and what you're actually selling and make it better and get social proof and get those results in the door. If you are making sales, you maybe reduce by 1 post a week, see what happens and see if it makes any kind of a change. If you're not tracking what's actually leading to sales in your business, you're constantly going to be on this hamster wheel. So track your data, track which platforms are serving you best, which pieces of content are actually generating sales, and just do more of that. That is what I mean when I say simplicity scales. And that's what I mean when we have simplified our business so much, but yet it's still continued to grow. So super important to not run yourself into the ground. If you are trying to build a business on social media, the wrong game to play is to play to the algorithm. You are not trying to be an influencer. You are not trying to be a content creator. You're trying to be a credible authority that people actually want to work with. That is a very different game. Less is more is the approach. So like I said, if you want to actually put this into action, be sure to comment business plan below or check the link in the description to grab our Knowledge Bank business plan, which gives you the exact framework to be able to build a business without trading all of your time for money with this post less, earn more approach. And if you want to take it a step further, be sure to check out this video on the blueprint to make money on YouTube from day one. There's a lot of gold in there. So be sure to check it out. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to hear what your takeaways are in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.